Hey everybody, I want to do a quick update on progress with the Most from the Least. I was really hoping I'd be able to get this thing done in this past week. That didn't happen. It's just not ready yet. And there's a few reasons for that. It's been super fun and some pretty wonderful revelations. One of which is that, man, I am a rusty motherfucker when it comes to playing instruments. It's amazing what 2 decades of not really playing your instrument will do to your ability to play that instrument. It's not good, I'm here to tell you. So it took me a couple days at least just to get the experience, just the ability to play drums like an actual musician back into my body and my hands and feet again. It was really interesting going through that process. I can sit down and I can hit drums and play drum beats or whatever. I've done that occasionally at times, but to sit down and play drums as good as the drummers that I admire is a whole other ball game. That's just a different thing, and you can't, at least I can't, just sit down and do that. There's been times I've been able to play that way, but that to me is like a skill that needs to be maintained by playing your instrument consistently, and I don't do that. And so that took a second, even just to be able to have a series of bars of me playing a thing that's oh, that sounds like good drumming. I actually still enjoy that process, the way I hear and think about music and playing an instrument is so different now after 20 years of doing everything else so much. Going back and relearning how to play the instrument again, knowing what I know now was really, really informative. There were some important things about it, just the mechanics of it, and so there were some things I changed that I just didn't really think about before. And I'm still working my way through checking out all of these amp simulators and tape, emulations, all that stuff. That takes time as well. And I have found one amp simulation that, at least while I'm working this thing up, has sounds good to me. So I've got one. And so, but there's still a bunch more to try and check out. And the tape emulation stuff, there's a ton of those to try. So I got to get through that process as well. It just takes some time, So I'm getting there. It'll get done eventually. But so I think I'm getting somewhere with this. I mean, you can see that is the setup that's being used. Ultimately, I'm only using 4 mics for this, and you can see the 2 MXL ribbon mics set up there, and that is the position that I ended up with after a lot of experimentation, and I captured all of it, and I think there's some very interesting stuff in there as well. So it's been a really cool journey, but it's I got to have something that's really presentable, and it's just not there yet. And so now, I mentioned before, I'm doing this thing where each month I go back to Vermont and I get to be in my wonderful barn studio. So I'm flying today to go back there, and I'm gonna have a week there. There's a whole other, project that I'm working on there. So I'm gonna switch gears back into that. I'm not allowed to work on this thing when I'm there, so it's gonna have to wait until I come back, because I'm really gonna commit to it. It's I can only work on this thing when I'm in this room with these speakers and this setup, So that's what's happening. Hopefully the project that I have going back there, I'll be able to get done, and I can post a video about that. I think that one also is going to be super interesting as well. But so that's where it's at. I wish I had a finished thing to post, but I gotta get there. I gotta get to a result, and it's just not ready yet. So I appreciate your patience, and hopefully I'll have other stuff to share in the meantime, and I'll get back to this next week and try and get something up for everybody. All right, I'll see you soon. Bye.